yourselves together. So we're being obedient too. So we're doing good today, aren't we? But it's so good to see everybody, and this is our Christmas program. I'm sorry I really dropped the ball. We don't have a play this year, but we've got some good Christmas miracle stories that people have volunteered to read, and real glad about that. So it is such a blessing to have the freedom to come together and worship the Lord. They don't have that in other countries. And I pray that we never lose it. We have to fight against losing it. So we celebrate the birth of Jesus. This is what Christmas is all about. God loved us so much. He provided a way that we could be forgiven of our sins and be with Him eternally. And that way was for Him to take on a human body. Jesus lived in heaven. This was something I really never knew until I was older. Jesus was alive in heaven before He was born as a baby. He didn't just start when He was born as a human baby. He helped God create the universe. He took on a human body with all its frailties to experience life just as we do, with all its sadness and joy. Jesus got sad sometimes. And then He shed His blood for our forgiveness. And we do praise God for His great love for us. Christmas is a fun time, though, isn't it? And it starts in October, it seems, with the people putting the Christmas decorations out on the shelves. You know, it just seems to start earlier and earlier each year. But we get together with our families, sharing presents, eating lots of chocolate, and making so many special memories from Christmas. We look back in later years on our younger Christmas days. I have such wonderful memories of Christmas. I bet you do too. Does anyone here have a favorite memory from Christmas you'd like to share? Oh, I know I've said it before, but my mom would buy our presents early, and then she'd hide them. And it became just a really fun thing for me and my brother and sister to see if we could find where Mom had hidden those presents. And Mom was so creative at finding places. remember watching Lawrence Welk one time. We had a big living room with a fireplace in it. And Mom never lit that fireplace because she didn't want to have to clean it. But at Christmas, she'd light the fire and we'd eat in there and watch TV. And it seemed like Lawrence Welk was always on. So but it was so warm and happy and just you get such good feelings from some memories. And it's a shame that a lot of people don't have those. And we do. Hmm? What's that? Oh, Mitch Miller! Oh, yes! Oh, how much fun. Yeah. Yeah. Christmas Eve, we'd always ask, Mom, could we just open one present? Just one. And she'd let us. And by the time we were done, we had opened everything on Christmas Eve. Hardly ever did we wait till Christmas morning. Oh, how, yes, how good. Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll continue on now with these wonderful stories. Um, I know we've all had miracles, whether big or small. We've all had them. Things that just kind of can't be explained. a bale of hay that some cat or other critter or God had thrown down for me. He's always letting us know that he loves us and he cares about what happens to us. Okay, well, we have a series of readings, and our first one is going to be Dixie, and so then after each one reads, the next one just come on up and read your story. And thank you so much for doing this. Mine's entitled Mysterious Ways. Merry Christmas to all. Every December, in Candlewood Lions Club throws a Christmas party at a local firehouse for the special needs of children at the Green Chimneys, a residential school. It's just a blast. I dress as an elf and help Santa pass out the presents to the kids, and there's also a magician, a lunch buffet, and even a tour of the firehouse. But driving there last year, I was in a panic. We had 40 presents to give, and not enough. We needed 60. We knew 60 children would be coming. Too bad the real Santa wasn't around. It's too late to buy more, I thought. The kids will be here soon. For some, they may not get anything. Lord, what are we supposed to do? Dejected, my husband and I parked the car and walked up the hill to the firehouse, and another man got out of the car at the same time and walked along beside us. And when we got to the front door, he said, "Is this the place we vote?" The man looked puzzled. He said, "I knew there was a special referendum up here for a vote, but it wasn't being held here." "Not at this firehouse," they said. We're having a Christmas party." And the man shook his head. "Well, I don't know why I thought it was here." And he looked at it. "You say you all having a party and you've got such long faces." Well, I told him about my problem. Even if it was a bit too worried to chit-chat, how could we send a child home without a present? "Well, how many toys do you need?" he said. I think I can help. Within minutes to spare before the children arrived, this man burst through the door, his arms full of toys. Hurriedly, he piled them on the table and covered them with tablecloths, awaiting the moment when our Santa would reveal the gifts. The children were ecstatic. One girl picked up an Easy Bake Oven and said, "I've always wanted this." And "This is the best present ever," as they ran out of the room. We needed a Santa Claus, and we were sent Major Tom Quigley of the local Marine Toy and Tots program, who had already collected all the presents we needed to give the kids for an unforgettable present. and an unforgettable Christmas.
get me through the holidays, and that wasn't very much. As a single mom while working, I did all I could to just take care of my family. I had two teenagers, and I am a single mom, and I worked two part-time jobs. And then that's not all. I go to college at night, taking some classes. And as I looked at the basket on my front porch, I looked for a card, but there wasn't a card there. Where had this basket come from? It was filled to the brim with all kinds of goodies. Wow. At that moment, I felt kind of a ripple of guilt. Wasn't there someone else there that needed that basket more than I did? And, I kept thinking about that. There are others that need things more than I. Yes, my kids and I were struggling, but my grandparents and Aunt Shirley, who was deaf and relied solely on Social Security and disability checks, sometimes pooling their resources to just get by. there was another basket just like the one I had delivered. I had been blessed.
My part is called A Christmas Eve Coincidence Saves a Life. I missed my friend's party for nothing, or so I thought. I made it to my friend Jesse's Christmas party minutes before midnight, just as everyone was leaving their house. Just my luck. Too late. I spent my entire night stuck at the hospital where I worked as a nurse. All thanks to a little voice inside me. Take Candy shift. Take Candy shift. It had said over and over and over again. Candy was a new nurse on staff, a single mom. She had asked me to cover for her on Christmas Eve so she could spend the time with her little girl. I felt bad for Candy. I really did. But every Christmas Eve I went to Jessie's house. Her party was the highlight of my holiday season. There was a gift exchange, carols, and sugar cookies as far as the eye could see. I told Candy I couldn't help her out. Afterwards, though, that little voice nagged me until I gave